Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful town, there lived a young boy named Arjun. Every evening, he would run up to the terrace, his hands clutching a bright-colored kite, his eyes filled with dreams. The sky was his playground, and all he wanted was to see his kite soar higher than anyone else. But every time he tried, something went wrong. The thread would snap, the kite would tear, or it would get stuck in the wires. The other children would laugh and tease him. "Arjun, your kite can't even stay in the air for a minute," they said. Their laughter echoed in his mind even after the sky turned dark. That evening, Arjun sat alone on the terrace. His kite lay beside him, broken, its tail tangled and its paper torn. The wind that once excited him now felt cold and cruel. With tears in his eyes, he whispered, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'll never be good at anything." He was about to leave when a soft, calm voice called from behind. It was his grandfather standing by the balcony with a gentle smile. "What's wrong, Arjun?" he asked. Arjun held up the kite and said, "It always breaks, Thatha. No matter how hard I try, it never flies." The old man walked up to him, picked up the kite, and looked at it closely. Then he said, "Do you know why your kite breaks, my boy?" Arjun shook his head silently. His grandfather continued, "Because you only look at the sky, not at the string. The real control isn't above you, it's right here in your hands. The sky doesn't decide how high your kite flies, you do." Arjun listened quietly, not fully understanding, but those words stayed with him. The next morning, as the first light of dawn touched the rooftops, Arjun went back to the terrace. He picked up his broken kite and began fixing it. He carefully straightened the frame, patched the paper, tied a new thread, and checked every knot. When he flew it, it didn't go very high, but it stayed longer than before. He practiced again the next day and again after that. Each failure taught him something new: how to control the thread, how to wait for the right wind, how to balance the tension between the sky and his hands. Days turned into weeks, and slowly his confidence grew. His cuts and blisters healed, his movements became sharper, and his focus became stronger. One bright afternoon, Arjun stood on the terrace once again. The wind was steady, the sky was clear, and he was ready. With one swift motion, he released his kite into the sky. It caught the wind, danced for a moment, and then began to rise higher and higher until it became a tiny speck of color in the endless blue. The same kids who had laughed before stopped to watch in silence. Then, slowly, they began to clap and cheer. Arjun smiled, but he didn't look up at the sky. He looked down at his hands, the same hands that had once trembled with doubt, now steady with belief. He turned to see his grandfather watching from the balcony, his eyes filled with pride. He didn't need to say a word. Arjun had learned the lesson that no one could teach through books or lectures, that success isn't about reaching the top, it's about learning to rise after every fall. Life, like the kite, will always test your control. The wind may not always favor you, and sometimes you'll crash. But each time you fix your kite, each time you choose to try again, you grow stronger. Because true success isn't about flying the highest, it's about never giving up. So the next time life pulls you down, remember Arjun's kite. Pick it up, fix it, fly again. Because the sky isn't out of reach, the control is already in your hands.